Oh, hi. Today, I'd be doing something interesting that, starting from tomorrow, I'm going to do my review on Sonic Frontiers. And now that I saw Wet n Wild and I didn't like it, I'm going to look back and see The Nightmare Before Christmas so I can review this one. So, no, it's a little unfair because it should have been called Tim Burton's Nightmare. And until less than 6 weeks before the film came out, it would have been fine if we'd signed up for, but Tim was in LA making two features at once. I know I directed the film, I mean Tim is a genius, or he certainly was his most creative imagination. I thought this story was perfect and he created the main characters, but it was really me who have designed it with the help of my team of my friends of mine, that to life, and we brought that to life, and it sounds very interesting, but anyways, let's review The Nightmare Before Christmas. As I noticed, it's based on a poem from 1982. As I noticed from the success of Vincent, which came out on October 1st, 1982, which was very interesting that it would inspire Edward Scissorhands. This is how The Nightmare Before Christmas came to be before Edward Scissorhands. Well, I would describe The Nightmare Before Christmas as spiritual successor to Edward Scissorhands. For some reason, for funny ideas that when this movie came out on October 13th, 1983, for limited release, it's quite interesting that for a running time of 76 minutes, it gained a budget of $24 million and it grossed out $91.5 million. As I know, this was a critically commercial success, earning praise for the animation, practically the innovation of its stop-motion art form, characters, songs, and score. As I know, the plot would be very simple. Where it all began on Halloween, Jack Skellington accidentally stumbles upon Christmas because he was fed up of celebrating Halloween all the time. In what he wants to create a merged reality with the help of Sally to make sure Christmas and Halloween would get together. However, some evil creature named Oogie Boogie hired Shock, Lock, and Barrel to do his bidding. For whom the bidding of what this is backfired is that when Jack disguises himself as Santa Claus, he ends up being on the naughty list, and then he wants to be on the nice list because he wanted to learn a little lesson showing how he can try and fix everything quite right. For some reason, as Sally gets captured, Jack pretty much swoops in to rescue her from Oogie. Although Oogie's fate, however, in a bizarre twist of fate, as a result of this, when Jack confronted Oogie, and then he managed to unravel the unleashing of Oogie's defeat with the thread that holded the cloth form together, causing all the bugs to spill out to reduce him into nothing. Although Jack feels sorry to Santa for his actions, realizing despite the trouble he caused and he wouldn't heeded the forewarnings about it, if he could still save Christmas, Santa replaces Jack's presents with the genius presents that he had, as all of Halloween Town celebrates the return of his survival. They've learned that Jack discovers he doesn't need hard feelings for himself when bringing a snowfall to the town, realizing it would fulfill the original dream the way the residents would finally realize the true meaning of Christmas when Sally and Jack declared their love for each other. It sounded very interesting. Like I praised the songs, although for a dark fantasy film, to the likes of Paranorman, Coraline, and Kubo, this one's a must-have blast. As, like I said earlier, Despite its bad qualities, like the idea of Jack discovering why he accidentally took Santa's place and started playing pranks on children didn't make sense. And the This Is Halloween song is by far one of the most bizarrely divisive songs involving around racism against Christmas, which felt like an insult to Martin Luther King Jr. Despite the reissued qualities that were bad, it reached the 1994 Oscars, where it was nominated for a Academy Award for Best Visual Effects for what was supposed to be the first for an animated film to use special effects. Sadly, this movie would lose to Jurassic Park, which was originally meant to be directed by Steven Spielberg. Wait a second. Ever since Tim Burton refused to direct Jurassic Park, Steven Spielberg decided to direct Jurassic Park to take his mantle from Burton. Kinda familiar? But when I noticed this was okay, and it sounds like an uptown idea, but I might give this movie like a solidly decent 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, I know despite the main villain Oogie Boogie being quite selfishly unlikable and who was quite depicted as a loathsome scarecrow-like villain, I'd probably learned my lesson of the movie. The lesson of this movie is that if you want to save Christmas, you mustn't steal Christmas. Like in the same vein as The Grinch, although Jack is more like an anti-Grinch than what the Grinch hates Halloween. I could imagine there was a Nightmare Before Christmas and Grinch crossover that we could imagine. That'd be quite awesome. But that's all I can say about this one.